So, it's 8:34, 8:35
You
now.
know, get your straight. If you've got fireballs, you really should seek medical attention.
Yes, you should. They make creams for that. And sprays. Well, if you are interested in
what a
earning
time
a
to
point...
go off mute.
Creams and sprays, baby. That's
Cream
what
sprays
you
and fireballs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hello.
Absolutely. Recap
Oh, hello there.
rollies. And everyone, as we're getting our recap rollies, I'll let you know it went well this morning. None of the kids tried to duct tape me to a wall, put me in a trash can, or otherwise cause me bodily harm.
I'm pretty sure if they tried to put you in a trash can, they would regret it.
Yes, because I would cry and it would
Action
make me feel
economy.
terrible.
Action economy. They can make it happen.
So I'll have you know, I once wrestled 4 people at the same time and was victorious. How, you say? They were all small children. And it was kids' class. These were all nearly adults, so I'm sure that they would have given me purple nurples and put my underwear over my head.
I mean, if you'd faced double that number, I don't think you could have managed it.
True. They would have munchkined me in the worst way possible. Okay, well, we've got a 9 in chat here, so a 9 is victorious. So, Akia, please give us your recap of our last session.
All right. On the last time of Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frostmaiden, we were in the middle of combat with a Shardland dragon. We chipped away at it. We blew off its armor, and its core exposed, changing into a very different fight. Avalus severely wounded. Everyone starting to run low on resources. The dragon's core released a huge laser weapon out of its mouth, melting Akia. A small pile of scrap kept alive by health potions. Doors flying off their hinges into the sky all around the town. Targos also simultaneously being invaded by a horde of zombies, the victims of the Shardland Dragon around 10 towns, following the Shardland Dragon's will, all culminating in this assault on Targos. In the final moments of battle, Alicia dips their hand into the Shardland Dragon, draining it of its final bits of life force. A large explosion of arcane energy ripples out from the dragon as it dies. The zombie army turns to dust. At the same time, Alicia and Gaiman seem to be released from some dark hold that the Shardland had placed on their beings. The doors fall over 10 towns, a gate being blasted away before it could destroy the center of town by Avalos. Peace returns to the town. The Thanes are proclaimed heroes. Alicia starts healing the wounded. Everyone relieved, exhausted, huddled masses trying to rebuild their towns. The Thanes set out on a journey to check the damage of 10 towns, see what towns can possibly be brought back, see if there are things left not destroyed by the dragon. So we head out, we check Dugan's Hole, and Goodmead and find that Dukensold's basically completely destroyed except for the stone circles. And Goodmead, surprisingly, the mead hall that houses the bees that make the honey mead of Tin Towns was also left undamaged. Let's see if I'm forgetting anything.
That news was the bee's knees, Dokia.
It is. Akia likes the bees. They they don't mess with Akia. They accept Akia for who they are. I believe that is about it. We left off in our process of basically surveying the towns of Tin Towns, the ruins, seeing what was going on. I believe that's it. That's all I can recall.
I think you did a perfect job there. Yeah, and now we can move forward with the next part of our opening minutes. Please take yourself a DM inspiration. I'm sure after the Shardolin Dragon fight, you were quite empty.
Yes.
Well, now that we have been recapped, let us move on to our Thane facts. I get it right one day a week. The other days a week, I say the wrong thing every time. I'm surprised I haven't said, all right, guys, let us do our Chosen of the Oracle facts here on Friday nights. And you guys would say, who is this guy talking to? Anyways, let us start with the Lotus. Lotus, can you tell us your Thane fact for this week?
Absolutely. So, of course, Lotus, along with her interest in professional baseball, is also a big fan of professional wrestling. And I figured I'd go ahead and talk a little bit about her favorite wrestler that is not her best friend in the world, Diamante, which I think that would be a bit of a cop-out answer. But other than her, of course, would be AEW women's wrestler Britt Baker, DMD. Which interesting thing about her is, like, being a dentist isn't just her gimmick. She is an actual licensed, practicing, as an actually graduated from medical dental school dentist.
Didn't expect that.
Yep.
And that's picture
all
further in the chat.
It's all true.
And she chose to become a wrestler when she could be putting her fingies inside people's mouths.
Oh no, she
It
still
is
does
also
it.
kind of interesting because her finisher move is she puts on like the black latex glove and she does do like the mandible claw, like trying to rip your jaw off.
Oh, that's intense. Well, maybe Lotus has learned a new finishing move herself now that she has ascended to level 8. Now that Lotus is level 8, is there any new things that she has gained?
All right. I'll go and give a quick rundown real quick. I did use my ASI. I've bumped up my charisma to the max of 20. So along with the Remember Azrael, that makes my spell save DC 17. So that's cool. And I did also grab haste as my new spell for this level.
Oh, nice. Well, thank you so much. We have learned a little bit more about Lotus. Lotus, you have earned Factspiration. Let us move up to Alicia. Alicia, hello.
Hello. So Alicia is not a very athletic person at all. They command a mighty 8 strength. However, with the gauntlets artificially boosting it, it's now 19. Still doesn't mean they're athletic in any means, but performance enhancers. Usually, temples and churches of Lathander do like to sponsor athletic events. So after hearing about this goat ball thing, Alicia is a little bit interested in seeing what it entails, and then if they can bring that to the wider 10 towns settlement. Maybe as a more regional event, but probably will have to talk to Gaiman about that.
Absolutely. And there is the question of, well, your new ally, Kapanuk Taltree, who has been palling about 2 towns since you rescued him from the prison.
Oh yeah, he did offer us a feast.
Mm-hmm.
Probably should take him up on that at some point.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Alicia. We have learned a little bit more about you, and hopefully, it's time to go out and slam and let them hear the jam. We will play some goat ball.
Hopefully. Look forward to it.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. You've earned Faxpiration. All right, now let us move on to the one known as Avalas.
Sorry, 1 second.
No problem. So, y'all, I did get to use the most powerful tool today in a physical education teacher's toolbox.
The
The
whistle.
whistle. The whistle. So
It's
now I have
not
my
a
own
wrench.
whistle. No,
That's the
unfortunately
second.
enough, the wrench stayed in its holster, but I wore it, so they knew if something happens. They saw that I have a powerful arm when I pitched the sponge ball to my assistant from 5 feet away. Now, Avalas, if you are ready.
I am. I'm sorry. Yeah, just there was a pizza exchange between my husband and I. I was like, oh crap, the mic. Yeah, I was caught with my hands on the pizza. The Avalas, being a worshiper of Sylvanas, obviously likes, and a druid nonetheless, stereotypically here preaches balance, balance, balance. But he longs to hunt the great white worm and believes that he was destined by Sylvanas to do so because of his stark white hair. Although there are also 2 other party members with stark white hair. But he believes that, that is his destiny, is to one day face this worm in combat and end it, or himself.
Yes, and you all have learned this creature's name.
Yep. And I may or may not have just prepared locate creature.
It's like, hey guys, I know we had this whole thing about going somewhere else, but we're actually going to go find the white dragon that's been hunting.
I got a ping. It's within 1,000 feet. Come on, guys.
We're going after it. I love it. Alrighty. Well, that means that you have earned Faxpiration. And this means that we need to now ask Gaiman about his Thane fact for this week.
So, before I gained my newfound understanding of things, shall we say, I never really, still kind of don't, care about money. Before, I didn't understand, I didn't get the concept of it. It just sort of like, it was there in the background, and I knew that, by doing the things, fighting the arena, beating people up, that, I got money, and money could be used to, buy food, ale, lodgings, things like that. I didn't care or look after that so much, so in hindsight, my manager robbed me blind. Now it still doesn't hold sway over me. Money is a means to an end, it's a tool. Like my axe, or my whip, or shield. One can get attached to it, but ultimately they're replaceable. It's not like people or, one's legacy. Those things can be, far more important, more substantial in the long run. So I understand the theory of money, but I still don't give a shit about it.
I love
Yeah,
that.
I'm not here for the coin, basically.
There is a line from a movie about a thief in Burma throwing fist-sized rupees to the kids that I am thinking of now when I think of Gaiman.
Yeah, but I've seen that play too. But it's like, I'm not wanting the world to burn. Now. I mean, before maybe, I don't know.
Mhm.
I was under the impact of a cursed thing. Now it's just there are more important things than wealth.
100%. And you've earned Faxpiration. And everyone, I just tested the check your scouter macro a couple of times, and now it seems to work. But I might need to run the roll a few more times just to make sure it's not just a false positive. But while I'm checking that, we should talk to Akia. Akia, what is your Thane fact for this week?
Akia's Thane fact for this week is that Akia, after meeting number 11, they did get a bit more stoic-ish, if that's even the right word. But they've also been, basically ever since Alicia got that gauntlet in particular, they've been sort of evaluating their place in the group, and along with being more quiet, they're also it isn't distracted because my character was saying something. Akia's been sort of following people around and observing them more, especially the other Thanes. And especially since Alicia got that gauntlet, just been following the other Thanes around, observing them a bit more. Just because of Akia's nature, it does seem that they are staring at the other Thanes a lot more. And there's something going on there, and that's my Thane fact.
I love that. Mystery, intrigue. What is behind the curtain? You have earned Faxpiration. So, heroes, what did I wanted to do next? The land of Icewind Dale has been forever changed by the Chartland Dragon's rampage through the region and through the burning remains of 10 towns. I offered you all a month-long time skip. And in that time skip, we needed to almost differentiate between the things that you are planning to do, basically on screen with everyone, and what is happening in the background. So I wanted to kind of find out what is everyone's main things that they were doing in that month-long time skip, and figure out if there was anything that we needed to turn the camera's focus up on and see. That way, the things that need to be done, the things that need to be played out, do get their time in the sun. So, how I wanted to start that off is actually with Avilas. Avilas, in this month-long time skip,
Yeah.
what would Avilas be up to? What are the main things he's doing? What are the main things he's trying to accomplish? And the floor is yours.
So I think the first thing he would work on would be reconstruction around Redwaters, and he would probably work with Akia to help with good meat as well. Like, I know we had talked about potentially combining the two. I'll say if would he suggest that to Abelis?
Yeah, I think so. I think that was in character.
Okay, then yeah, I guess. Although Abelis is very hesitant to have a lot of contact with between human and the Yetis, but hopefully there's good fishing around the frozen waters of the red waters, and but he would want to base it more around the 20 stones of Thrun, because he always felt a connection there. There's great magic there that he just doesn't quite understand, and he feels there's latent magic there that he wants to protect, because he feels like it could be used for ill purposes. So that's why he was putting the Yeti there, to kind of deter a lot of people. Dugan's Hole was enough of a shithole to be a deterrent enough, but now that it's gone, he kind of wants to rebuild that deterrent. But he would definitely help with Goodmead as well, and kind of provide a link between the two. But he would want to limit that kind of those linkages to like seasonal or monthly market days, or some sort of controlled interactions, to kind of limit the potential for violence and conflict between the settlements. So where the Yeti are kind of left on their own. Like, he's not going to be stupid and make a Yeti speaker and send them off to kill everybody. But he does want to kind of make it safe for the Yeti, protect the stones, and yet still look like he's doing his duty as Thane and helping out, and it's a good thing for the people too, because it now takes a dangerous thing between two towns and now makes it a little more controlled. So that's his number one. Number two, I think, Caleb, would be kind of what we talked about just recently, and that would be the kind of vision quest going off with Sylvanas. I mean, he sees like what Alicia was doing with the Morning Lord, and he feels like he's losing his connection because he's around all these settlements all the time and isn't communing with nature. And he remembers someone in the party telling him about these elven ruins potentially. And that's me going, I think I remember we discussed that at one point. There was some sort of elven something or other.
Elven
so he wants to investigate that, and what's up with that, and see if that's tied with his dreams, and can I reconnect with his god. And then I don't think we have time for number 3 and 4. So that's my guess.
But what are they?
Oh, so if he had time, his number 3 and 4 priorities were let me get on my list. Investigate the red or giant Yeti. So he would like to do that. And his fourth is to spend time with Michonne, which unfortunately did not make it into the top 3.
I mean, priorities, but also, I mean, you're not going to be researching and working on this all day long. I mean, you still have nighttime.
Yeah, the problem though is she is in Bridgehander, and none of what he's trying to do is anywhere close.
Gibby tried to always date my character's friends.
Wait, what's
well, excuse me. Let me try my Atlas voice. Yo, girl, you up?
Mind if I swing by on my giant owl?
a hootie call?
Oh no, it is a hootie call.
Lex, I hope you appreciate that. It was on the fly.
I cast Guiding Bolt and I shoot the owl. I spend every spell slot I have and I shoot down that fucking owl.
I mean, with this kind of humor, Lex has to keep his head on a swivel almost 360 degrees, if you know what I mean.
I hate all of you.
You love us. Yeah, so that's Avalis's downtime.
Now, something that's interesting there is several players have spoke about wanting to return to the Elven Tomb because there was things left undone there. So, is a journey made to the Elven Tomb?
Well, I was going to say that actually does factor into something that Alicia does. So Alicia
was that what the mirror was?
It was.
Yeah, the mirror
okay.
forgot to ask us 7 questions that Lotus told you about before.
Yeah, see, I knew I heard it somewhere.
Mm.
So perhaps there should be a a sojourn to the Elven tomb, and perhaps during the month of Skip. But before we jump back to that, Avalos, I'm just going to keep that in mind. Let us ask Lotus what they are going to get up to during this month of skipping time.
All right. Well, the first thing, and we already did this in the RP channel off game, was talk with Gaiman and Alicia about how they were feeling now that they've been, at least as far as she's aware, released from the formerly evil cursed influence of Chardalyn. And, seeing that their reactions, and especially with Gaiman not really wanting to talk about it, she does keep the door open and says that if either of you want to talk more, she's more than happy to listen, and she'll just leave it at that.
Okay, so first thing, wishing to see if any of the peoples affected by Chardalyn's influence wishes to talk more in depth about it.
Right. Generally speaking, I'd say that Lotus being the Thane, knowing that the Sheriff and Speaker Bernshander have, of course, been in their offices and have a lot more experience, would let them lead the recovery efforts, but she would just support them and the citizens and refugees and help provide moral support through story and song.
You're the celebrity guest on the fundraiser.
Yeah, pretty much.
Absolutely. They would definitely want you on in any of the recovery efforts that they've got going on this month, especially because there's almost no connection with the outside world. None. Between the land of Icewind Dale and the lower Sword Coast because of the harsh winter, the growing glaciers that separate the Icewind Dale Trail, called the Ten Towns Trail, from, well, the Sword Coast, which is creating a huge supply line issue.
All right. I'd say probably one of her favorite stories to tell, though, especially to any children who would listen, is like to help inspire them and bring them hope, is she would tell them the tale of a man known as the Star-Lord and his friends, the Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's good shit.
I guess to sort of lean into that, she, knowing that a good number of refugees were passing through Brinjander in the intervening time, she would ask around about the white-skinned tiefling woman that she had seen in the mirror before, seeing if she might have turned up somewhere.
Oh, well, you actually get some information about that. You hear people say, "Oh, we actually saw a woman like that," and it was commoners from the city of Caer Denival. In escaping from the Caer, we saw her lurking about the city, always coming and going from the castle.
I see. And have you seen her outside of the city at all? Has she been among any of the refugees here?
No, in fact, when the dragon started attacking, the castle locked up its defenses. It battened down the hatches. It pulled up the the big door that connects to the castle over the moat.
Drawbridge.
Yes, that.
I see. Now, this tiefling woman, do you know of her name?
Oh, I'm sorry, we did not know of her name. We just saw her from afar. She was impossible to miss, though.
I see. And then she starts writing down like her shorthand notes next to the image she had drawn. From the mirror, and amongst them, her musings is that she thinks that, from what she said, this must be someone who's very important to those in charge at Caer Denival here, if they were willing to keep her protected like that. I see. Well, thank you. Thank you for your help.
Oh, you're welcome. Anything to help the heroes of Icewind Dale.
All right. Okay, so that's good. Along with that, I would say that she would start asking around the B team, seeing how they're holding up after everything, especially with Watto.
Well, Watto, of course, he did not get to see the battle because he and the rest of the B team were left behind in the city of Bryn Shander. So when you did return to Bryn Shander safely after its fall, he was thankful. He was elated, and most of all, he almost had a premonition that this was the outcome. He had a feeling that you all would succeed. So, when he would see Lotus, he would, of course, rush to embrace her. And the other teamers would pile around as closely as they could to congratulate you all in big hugs and cheers of enjoyment. And Icewind Dale would try to immediately serve as many full glasses of good mead to everyone to have a merry time.
Yes, and Lotus would certainly partake. As she does, though, she does look at Watto a bit curiously and say, Watto, I just noticed something. And she points at the necklace hanging from his neck. It looks like half of its paw print, half its snowflake. That jewelry there. Have you always had that?
Oh, yes. Yes, I have. He says, almost with a touch of apprehension.
Can I do an insight check?
Absolutely.
All right.
You can detect the apprehension, but why it is coming across that way and where it's coming from might be unknown to Lotus.
Watto, you know I said there weren't going to be any more secrets between us, right?
Yes, I'm sorry. Sometimes I forget that I'm even wearing it. It has become a part of me. And he will kind of fully pull it out so that it is clearly resting upon his lapels. And he will say, this pendant is from my past, being a members of the cult to Grozd, seeking the princes of the Abyss. We were able to meet a demon who went by the name of Frostburn. Frostburn treated us much, and in return, as I'm sure you can guess, we had to do awful things. This amulet is my arcane focus, and with it, it gives me power that I should have not been able to access, as one who has not studied as in-depth as some of the wizards of the Blackstaff Tower, or from these members of the Arcane Brotherhood. I do hope that I never have to meet this Frostburn again. And if I do, and if you all do, I imagine it will be at the worst time possible.
Well, seems that it is an odd thing, isn't it, though? These things that connect us to the weave can come from the most traumatic of places.
You would not. Of course. I wish that I could just throw it into one of the locks, but I would lose my ability to access the weave without it. Even if I were to have a powerful arcane object like a wand or a staff, it would do me no good.
Otto, do you think that... And she'll just sort of bite her lip for a moment and hesitate, and then speak up again and say, do you think that if I find this woman who can fix me, if I no longer lead the mask, what if I can no longer use magic?
He looks at you with a pondering glare and says, "You and I are different. You are not a wizard. Your magic, I don't believe, comes from that mask. Like my magic comes from my study and from, well, unfortunately enough, my devotion to this trinket. We have learned of your heritage. We've learned of your bloodline. I think your magic," and he will point to your heart, "comes from here."
She'll give him a soft smile and say, you know, Watto, you always seem to have the right things to say whenever I'm feeling down.
He chuckles and he will say, "Well, it comes from a lifetime of always saying the wrong thing. You get around to learning what you actually need to say."
Yes, in fact, I remember that first time I tried to invite you into my cottage. I believe you told me that you had to wash your hair?
Yes, each one of them. Takes a while, you see, I'm a tabaxi.
Mm-hmm. I'm guessing, though, that wasn't really what you needed. You seemed to be making an excuse for, I assume, being nervous around someone who you had feelings for? Hmm?
You would be correct, he says.
Well, it's nice to see that both of us have grown in our time together. But, there is something else I am worried about. And out of character, this does sort of lead into the next, my last thing. I am worried, though, that one of Asmodeus's minions was able to find me, and I'm sure they'll try to find me again.
It is true. And I do not know of any way to protect you from their vision. Perhaps one of our friends who is devoted to the divine who could help us out with that. Perhaps Alicia and the Moon Maidens could help us protect you from these fiendish people who would look for you.
Well, yes, that might be the case, but, well, they seem to be the only source of some answers to the questions I have.
He sighs. The lower planes, as we saw with Gaiman and Alicia, or as you have told me, can offer great powers, but at a great cost. I learned this with the knowledge I gained from those who travel the abyss. Those who make their home in the hells, I fear, might treat you the same.
I don't plan to stay, darling. I just want some answers. The hells would never be my home, and as much as I've grown attached to my friends here, this place isn't my home either. want the answers about my father, and I do want to go back to Earth. And look, something else you can also help me with. We need to plan a trip to find the crashed ship. We need to find some way to fix it, and I don't know, maybe if I could find my Weave phone, I can maybe find a way to get in touch with my mother and let her know I'm okay.
Of course. And it sounds like it is time for us to discuss our trip to this crashed ship.
Yes. But I think before all that, I think I need some help to unwind.
Well, then unwind we shall, he says with a, what's the word? A grin.
Rygrin, Slygrin.
Mm-hmm. And there is a yowling that can be heard throughout Bryn Shander from the home. We know that yowl. We've all had cats at home before. Alrighty. Well,
I haven't. I don't know it, but I don't want to hear it. I'm good.
Okay. I was gonna put it
same.
on over the Kinku bat, but I
Please
will leave
don't.
that.
If you do, I'm quitting this game right now.
Okay, I will not put it on. I don't want you to quit. Okay, well, everyone, then we should ask, because we now know what Alicia and Lotus were getting up to during the time skip. What is
Wait,
Akia
what?
getting up to?
I
Not
know what
Alicia.
Avalos.
Sorry. Avalos and Lotus. The A names, they were right next to each other. My brain, too small, too smooth. So Avalos and Lotus were doing. Let's find out what Akia was doing during this time skip.
All right, so Akia does feel a little bit bad about all the doors ripping apart, all the houses, and all the 8 out of the 10 towns have been basically completely destroyed. So they don't feel guilty about that at all. But they do feel just a tiny bit of guilt about the whole Targos doors flying all over the place situation. So they do want to sort of set up in Targos and maybe do a little repairs just to sort of ease their conscience on that a little bit. But they want to ask the Speaker of Targos for a warehouse like near the docks where the Thanes destroyed the Shardland Dragon, and they would like to store the corpse of the Shardland Dragon in there, and along with copper, sort of take it apart, and just in a safe, steady fashion, sort of reverse engineering it. I'm not looking for like now I know how to make a dragon sort of thing, but just to take it apart safely, basically, and just role playing learning, not anything mechanical learning from it. But they would also set up just a storefront and a distillery just for making fresh water, because they think that's just something that they in particular could do really efficiently, while still also working on just little side projects. And if anyone wanted to come and have like a request of something to be made, then they'd have a little storefront and they could work on little things. So that's the first thing that they want to do, is set up a little store in a warehouse in Targos.
Sure. And as far as I'm sure you were going to have potentially this question, crafting, because you're going to be able to make quite a few crafting checks here.
Yeah, so I thought about that. I think number 13 doesn't really have anything in particular that they want to work on right now for the group. They don't really have any big projects in mind. Except the only thing that they do have, they might get around to eventually, but they don't really have money for supplies right now because they're completely broke. Would be making like that either a pair of Remoraz long swords or short swords, like a pair of short swords out of the Remoraz fangs or one great sword out of it. And they're thinking about it, but they don't have the money for the supplies to actually go about it. So I was actually going to be that was actually going to be my number 4 on my list. That maybe the towns would commission something like some sort of added defenses that they could make to raise funds for future projects for the group. But if none of that happened, then they would just do research on how to make stuff in the future, like how to actually make a permanent +1 weapon, +1 shield, that sort of stuff. And the other things, there was some stuff pinned in roleplay. Like the goggles of night, +1 weapon, +1 shield, and that there was like an item that Alicia wanted that number 13 was going to research. It was like a, forget what it was, some sort of amulet.
The amulet of the devout
I believe that sounds correct.
is a
How
cleric
long-
boosting album.
How long ago was this? I don't remember.
It was like the beginning of the campaign.
Oh, jeez. Okay. I was like, that must have been a long time ago.
But that was Akia's number 4. Akia's number 2 was to go with Gaiman to appraise and sell the zombie Kuma Claw dagger.
To the temple of Auril, correct? The Church of Auril in Bryn Shander?
Yeah. Just because Akia thinks that they'll get more money, just based on their child of Auril standing, that they might get a better, just get more funds, get a higher bid going there, possibly.
I see. You are hoping for the time-honored tradition known as nepotism.
Yes.
I see. So let's see here. Ghoul Claw Dagger.
Yeah, not a particularly powerful item. Once a day can attempt to poison an enemy. So, nothing crazy.
Yeah, unfortunately enough, they would see this item and they would not probably give you too, unfortunately enough, of a good price for it. They would probably only offer you in the realm of 100 GP for this.
All right, and would that also match the appraisal that we got, that Gaiman and I would get at Triglio's?
He would only give you, because he's not giving you the midwinter child price. He's only offering 80.
Okay. Then yeah, I would definitely sell that to the Church of Roll to get that 100 gold.
And they will take it because they would love to have all of your stuff, and they want to put all of your stuff up on the refrigerator.
All right, I'll take that off my inventory and add that 100 gold.
Jesus, Akia, the way they were salivating over that dagger, you could, you'd take some mimic glue, stick some bolts on some parchment, and sell it to them.
Oh, I will look into creating something like that.
I mean, you don't have to get fancy. You just throw down some mimic glue, throw down some bolts, see what sticks, sell it. That's some bolts art.
Now, the cities themselves don't actually have a commission for you, Akia, but as any of the players have a commission for Akia?
Not at this time.
Does not sound like it.
Well, I mean, I did ask if you could do a +1 longsword or something. Yeah, I think we talked a little bit about that in chat, but
Yeah. Well,
that's up to Akia.
I would look into how to actually craft that. As my number, that was my number 4 on my list.
Alrighty.
And my number 3 was to go to Mir Dualden and fish. So Akia would just spend one day to plan that out, and they would invite number 11 first of all, but then they would also invite the everyone from the B team and all of the Thanes, just to see if they wanted to go.
Atlas would go, but he would use a spear and basically instead of a pole.
Yeah, Lotus would go along and say, like, we should make sure to bring plenty of mead with us as well.
That is the way to make fishing go a little bit faster. The time-honored tradition.
And Akia would go with probably a level of exhaustion, just because of this weird fascination with being able to sit in one place and do nothing while also working. So they're like, you can rest and work at the same time. I'm not going to sleep the night before.
Now, to answer your question about making a +1 weapon. So the first thing you need for a +1 weapon is you need the weapon itself. So you will need to craft yourself a longsword or whatever the weapon is in question. The second thing you will need, sorry, our music stopped, is you're going to need some sort of magical gem. So you will need to find a magical gem. You will need to somehow infuse a gem with magical energies that will allow the gem to basically power the weapon. And the crafting DC for it is a 14. It's a kind of a medium difficulty item to make, and you have to succeed on about 12 successes to get that sucker made.
Okie dokie.
Mm-hmm.
Would I be able to? Do you see that pin in RP chat?
I can go down and look. Okay, so you need a tracker for Goggles of Night, a weapon, and a shield. Okay, so I need to look up Goggles of Night.
And I mean, you don't have to do that right now.
Okay, so those would be what you're looking for your recipes, which you should be able to find.
Yeah, and if I did have any trouble, I would probably go to Watto.
Make use of his
and
nerd
Copper,
powers.
of course. Between Copper and Watto, I would be bugging them a lot. Although I don't think Copper would be bothered.
No, of course not. He loves that stuff.
He's too busy punching guys in the dick.
That does make up a lot of his day. Going around and finding people that he can knobberknock in the cobberknock. Now, if we are going to fish, there is a fishing minigame.
I would love to play the fishing minigame.
Let me get to that real quick.
I am also very neutral to being attacked by a Loch Ness monster, as we do go fishing in Merdwalden.
So, first of all, to fish for knucklehead trout, you're going to need tackle and a rowboat. So, a fishing tackle set would put you back about 4 gold pieces.
I have at least for one person. Like I've got my own.
Spear is free.
And then, everyone will need a tool to fish with, of course, and you'll need a rowboat, which the peoples of 10 Towns would surely be able to afford one for you all, because you guys have saved the city. You guys did the thing. Now, of course, you could also just go out onto the ice and cut a hole in the ice and try to fish through one of those if you are feeling so bold.
That's what Avlis is used to. But
some ice hole fishing. Now, how long would you all wish to fish for? Do you wish to fish until you catch something?
Just in case like this becomes an encounter, Akia does not have their armor on. You actually see Akia take their armor off over the course. Whoever goes with Akia, this is the first time you will see them without their armor on, as they want to experience the cold as much as possible. So as they take their armor off, and they and their level of exhaustion, you do see a much skinnier version of Akia. They basically have gone from Groot in Volume 3 of Guardians of the Galaxy to Volume 1 Groot. There are
Not teenage Groot.
no. They're still just as tall, but much. There is a lot of I don't know the word for it, non-sleekness. Like most of their bodies are normally very sleek. There's a lot of like grapple points where things would attach on the inside. So it doesn't quite look like their inside guts or anything, but it also kind of does. Like, so it's like this half and half thing. It could be very jarring.
Avlis just stares like blatantly.
You do also see in their chest sort of a glowing, just a blue glow coming from their chest, from cracks in the chest area, and just like a bunch of hooks and holster type areas on their body.
Now, which lock are you all wishing to go fishing on? Wishing to go fishing?
It definitely would be not Loch Dineshare, and it would just depend on whatever was more convenient for everyone at the time. But I was thinking Merdwalden, just because that's where they would be setting up shop. But they also travel to Redwaters, as they would think of themselves as assisting Abelos with Goodmead and Dugan's Hole. But they would be spending most of their time in Targos.
I see. Well, that is interesting. So, for all of you who are going fishing with Akia, this will be interesting. Could you all give me a wisdom survival check as you are fishing? Okay.
Ooh, I believe I get advantage because of Outlander. Survival. Dirty 20.
Oh, there we go. Now, would Alicia and Gaiman have gone fishing, or would you guys have stayed back?
Not fishing, but just observing.
Mm.
Would be going along just to spend some time to take a slight break from what they've been doing for their downtime, but not actually fishing.
I love it. Now, at the end of the first hour of fishing, Lotus and Akia, you do not catch a fish. However, Avalos spears a fish within the first hour quite easily.
I mean, Lotus was never really trying to catch a fish anyway. For her, it's like from what she's all, because this is her first time actually doing this, right? So like she's used to just seeing it, on TV and like shows where like the point of fishing isn't actually to catch the fish; it's just using it as an excuse to drink and hang out with your friends. So that's what she's using it for.
Akia probably has disadvantage anyway because they're actually powering down.
Oh.
Avalos is basically playing whack-a-mole in the ice. Like he's trying to catch all the fish.
These knucklehead trout want to get caught.
Yeah.
Okay.
When he misses, you hear him just swearing under his breath.
Now, how many hours do you all fish? Do you just fish for a couple? Do you fish all day?
Akia is planning to fish through a long rest.
Oh, that's too much.
Yeah, that'd definitely be too much for Lotus too. I think Lotus would probably do it for like a few hours with you guys, and then she probably wouldn't catch anything. But then, it's like once the mead she has dries up, she'd be done.
Once Avalos catches one fish for every person who can't catch a fish, he will stop and deposit that fish on their lap.
Oh, well, thank you, Avalos.
Yes, you seem to not. Well, you were very quiet to the fish usually, so that I mean, here, he just gives you the fish.
Well, I'll find something to do with this. Maybe I'll cook up a nice dinner for Watto and myself.
Oh yes, I got another one for him too, and he'll produce another trout and give it to you. So you have two.
Oh. Okay. I'll have to practice. I've never been really good at gutting and cleaning one of these myself. I usually have the monger do it for me.
How large are these, DM?
A knucklehead trout is a small creature. They're huge. They're like a tuna that you would pull out of the ocean that Will Ferrell would just cream his pants over about how hard they could kill a lion in combat.
I'm just imagining like seeing the big fish like that time I went to Pike Place Market. You see him just tossing them around.
I love it, and then he's like, "I got a second one for you." He'll go, not meaning to gross Lotus out, but Gibby, of course, meaning to gross you out. Will point to the eyeball, and go, "These are a particular delicacy. If you don't like them, save them for me."
Thank you, Atlas. I'll be sure to do that.
The cheek meat is very tender as well.
I do wish I had my Weave phone with me. Maybe I could learn how to make sushi.
He'll pull out. What slashing instrument do I have? Nothing. He'll pull out a dagger, and say, "I can prepare it for you if you wish."
Oh yes, thank you. That'd be great.
And he'll immediately just start cutting into the fish and scaling it and removing the bones.
Lotus
just right there, right where Lotus is sitting.
Yeah, it's like she'll quickly, try to move away so that the guts don't spill all over.
I imagine that takes some time, but eventually he'll produce some very large fillets for you two.
It would appear that Kumakyu has fallen into the water.
Oh no!
Well, that is actually the perfect setup for what is about to happen. As Kumakyu is doing their thing.
Oh, I can become a shark. That might not be good. Or a seal.
Atlas shark doo 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 doo. Atlas shark doo 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 doo. Atlas shark doo 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 doo. The Atlas shark.
So you guys would never believe that that's one of my son's favorite songs.
Oh god.
The Avalanche Shark specifically.
Yeah.
Patent pending.
Patent pending, exactly. So as Kumakyu falls into the water, there is a struggle underneath the water, and I need to bring you guys to a map. Now, would you guys all be crammed on one rowboat, or would you guys have two rowboats?
Who?
I kind of feel like we need two rowboats.
I
Oh,
agree.
Alicia wouldn't be on the water.
Gaming's
at
a
all.
big boy.
There's a lot of you out there.
Avalos is clearly on the rowboat with Watto and Lotus.
Mhm.
Otherwise, it's very difficult for him to do what he did.
Absolutely. So let's see. Let's put you fine folks on these boats.
That's what I get for having chum in the boat.
Are we?
Absolutely.
What form of exhaustion are we using?
The one D&D exhaustion.
All right.
Do I need to give Akia a level of exhaustion, self-imposed?
Yes.
Okay. It's been given. And then we've got Alicia and Gaiman in this boat.
Alicia wouldn't be in the boat. They'd still be on the shore. They wouldn't have gone
Oh
out
no.
fishing. Yeah, they weren't fishing at all. They were on the shore watching everyone else, but yeah, they weren't gonna actually be involved in the activity.
Okay, no problem. So that means these companions are on the boat. So Watto would have definitely went because Watto loves to fish. Blarton also loves to fish. Icewind Dale, of course. And
It's also how I get pocket sand. Cha 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 cha.
You guys are in the boat, and the water in Mare de Weldon is going pretty quickly. There's snow falling upon you all. Random bits of ice seem to hit the boat at regular intervals as Kumaku is fighting underneath the waves of the water with something. The water is so thick and black, it is hard to see into it.
It's also dark.
Oh, and Alicia, I don't know where to put you because they're on the water and you're over on the thing. Hold on.
Oh, is there no shore? Like, how far? Well, I guess the question is, how far out are they?
They had to go out pretty far because they took the boats out from the ice flows, out from the frozen bits near the docks. So you're like maybe watching them with binoculars.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate. Good luck, guys.
And I dropped a camera doge
Yeah, I see it.
in there. And we got to put a Kumaku onto the map. However, they're underwater. So that's a thing. And there's something under there fighting with it. So tell me, what do you guys do as this is happening?
Avalos will immediately turn into a reef shark and jump in the water. Well, jump first, then shark.
So you want to jump into the water and then see kind of what's down there?
I'm hoping it's not a Leviathan, but you know, he wants to save Kumakyu first. because
Okay.
they have the pocket bacon bond.
So what you see a creature that is roughly 15 feet by 15 feet. It has
Bigger than
a
me.
long serpentine head and sharp teeth, and it is poking at your friend Kumakyu with its nostrils flared. It is kind of staring at it with strange intelligence.
Oh well, I can talk as a reef shark in the new the 1D&D.
That's not terrifying at all.
I know, right? So as I look down there, is Kumakyu struggling? Does it look like he's in pain?
It appears almost like a cat playing with their food, as it is not allowing Kumakyu to escape.
Okay. I don't know what's up with my inspiration. It seems to have jumped to 3, but it should only be 1. All right. Avlis will try in. Oh God, what would an undersea creature speak?
Did you accidentally set it to refill on a long rest?
Oh, I don't think so.
Or if you move stuff assets around on your sheet, you may not have realized it. I mean, because we just had to level up, and so that'll do it.
I'll change it myself, I guess. So Avlis will try in common because he doesn't speak Aquan, and indicate that the creature it is playing with is ours and to let it go.
Why should I? It says back in common.
Because it is ours, and we do not want harm to come to it.
But it came down into my lock. I just simply want to play with it. Find out what makes it tick. I'm so lonely down here. Nothing speaks to me.
Avlis will spin around in kind of a quick display and says, "Let it go, and you can play with me."
It
Phrasing.
looks to you, and I feel like you should see what kind of creature.
Yeah,
you're
I'm
dealing with here.
going to be scared. It's going to be some anglerfish monstrosity, toothy thing.
I'm dropping an image of what it looks like into chat.
Just so you know, I have... Nope.
You've done this to yourself.
I know.
You would say that this is a plesiosaurus if you were a dinosaur
yeah,
expert.
I was in 2nd grade. I know dinosaurs. Yeah, that's the Loch Ness monster. Okay. Yeah, I will tell him to let him go, and I will let him attack me, or play with me as a shark instead.
I don't wish to attack anyone. I just want to play. And it starts to poke Kumakyu.
As it does, I will non-threateningly kind of bump in, not to cause any damage, like kind of brush into it and say, "Are you sure you don't want to play with someone who can play back?"
Give me a persuasion check with advantage against the plesiosaurus.
Okay, I can do that. Yeah, my advantage, my charisma isn't, sucky. That was sarcasm. You said just persuasion?
Persuasion with advantage.
Oh, okay. I'm not very persuasive.
Oof. So
Good thing I had advantage.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Well, I was raised by Yeti, folks.
It looks to you and it says, "Your skin is rough. And it feels like it got everywhere."
Oh, I was hoping it wouldn't come to this. Something bad's about to happen, guys.
Yeah, but I mean, we don't know what's happening because you're down in the water.
You guys just hear bubbles.
Yep. Avalis decides instead just to piss it off and bite it.
A 23 definitely hits the plesiosaurus, and it's like, ow, you bit me. I didn't bite you. What's the matter with you? Are you some type of ruffian?
Do you want to play? Let's play.
He's like, "All right, bitch, we're playing." I'm like, "Oh shit!"
All right, let me put the plesiosaurus on the field. It's a big boy. It's the eye-popping plesiosaurus. So it looks over to you, and it's going to start swimming after you to chase you.
Okay, I will attempt to breach as I run away and say, "Big sea monster in the water." I'm like trying to jump out.
Excellent.
As it's doing that, Gaming goes, "Oh my, you are truly horrifying. Are you sure you just didn't see your reflection?"
Yeah, I love it. I'm a shark calling something else a monster.
And then this thing, its head pops above water as it goes, "Oh, there's people up here too."
Yeah.
Lewis leans back in the boat. He's like, God, what the fuck is that thing?
Can Avalis swing by and oh, this is gonna be horrible. Catch like QBQ in its mouth and
Of course.
as a shark and try like I realize I'm trying to do like the mama lion thing, but I'm not really equipped the right way in the mouth for that. But
I too have run into those issues when I've been told my mouth isn't well equipped for what I'm trying.
Wow.
Ow.
Wow.
not gonna touch that.
Yeah,
I wasn't allowed to either.
evidently.
Oh god.
I don't even know what that means now. I don't even know what that means. The plesiosaurus looks around and says, "Hello, everyone. You all are sailing around in my lock. Have you come to play with me?"
Lotus will slowly stand up and just trying her luck. It's like, would you go away if I gave you 350?
He looks to you and he says, 350 of what? I do have quite a sizable hoard that I am making at the bottom of this lock.
And she'll reach into her coin purse and pull out 3 gold pieces and 5 silver pieces.
He looks to you and make me a persuasion check with advantage.
Sure.
God damn it, woman! Don't you know that if you give that plesiosaur 350, it's just gonna come back want more 350?
All right. Well, since you said I got advantage, I got a dirty 20.
It looks to you and it says, I did want to chase that awful cretin who bit on my tail, but I can't help but take the gold that you are offering to my hoard. I must establish it. Here, please, put it in my hand. And it puts its gigantic flipper onto the boat.
Lotus will very gingerly hold out her hand and then drop the currency onto Flipper, and I'll go ahead and deduct that from a sheet.
Excellent. The flipper curls around it like a tight handhold, and it says, until we meet again on the lock, I'll be looking out for your scents. And it splooshes under the water.
Avalis will return like a flipper to the side of the boat and present QMQ in its mouth to Akia.
Lotus will blink a couple times in silence and then just say, holy shit, that actually worked.
David, did you see that? That was a gigantic dinosaur. This is coming from Blarton.
Oh, so what's it? Yeah, it was fuck off me, but dinosaur. It's a behemoth. A
Number-
cold water behemoth.
I just realized I could have Done a lot more fishing as a shark.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you're fighting over resources in an ecosystem with that thing. I mean, it might object.
Yes, I don't think I would want to see it actually mad. It didn't seem to react to my bite at all, other than surprise. Slightly annoyed, perhaps.
Yeah, I think we're going to need some serious artillery if we want to deal with that thing. Although, I mean, to be perfectly honest, it seemed more just in a playing with us. It's like it was a bored child or something.
Do you think it has parents?
Oh, Jesus. If it's got kin that's bigger than it. That's
And of
not
course,
good.
they're shouting over the boats.
You get an
Listen,
anime.
I'm a big man. My voice carries.
Mine is fairly low and tends to get carried on the wind as whispers.
Oh. Oh, I guess this isn't a dream. Strange.
Here, you don't dream, mate.
Yes, remember I asked you before, though. I
You
specifically asked if
trance or go to stasis for like 4 hours.
I thought maybe if I was fishing, I would have a fishing dream. And dream about fishing.
Or you could actually fish. But I don't know how much fishing you're going to get done with that thing in the water.
I see. That is unfortunate. Oh,
Unless
I did.
you want to go fishing for, big fuck off ugly critters.
I mean, if you want, I could turn back into a shark and you can catch me.
I did have something else. Would anyone like to try my latest creation? It's the perfect opportunity for it.
It's
And-
not fuck off ugly creature bait, is it? Where you spray it on yourself?
I don't believe so.
Is it a
And
smoothie?
Akia-
I have heard of smoothies from Lotus.
IKEA will produce a cloak that is a very large, billowy cloak with a long, thin tail. But it just comes out real wide.
Is it a blanket? Maybe one that you wear and can snuggle up in?
It is a swimming cloak.
Seems like that would make you drown.
Well, how's it work?
Here, put it on.
I
Poof.
guess we would have to row closer to get it.
I'll send Gaiman some manta ray.
Kumaku could just fly it over.
Or Q could just fly it over. Because I feel like between Blarton and Dale, we would just like turn the boat in circles.
Avalis, you are correct. It is a cloak of the manta ray.
Oh, that's awesome.
You guys get the boats closer together through the powers of click and drag.
Not the power of friendship, power of click and drag.
Yes, unfortunately enough, I've been told to cease and desist my Power of Friendship speeches by 4Kids Entertainment, and apparently I have broken their copyright too many times.
I've seen
Can't
Captain
tell whether you're
Planet.
serious or joking.
Oh, they are very serious. I was imposing on their, what's the word? Monopoly on the Power of Friendship. God damn them and their Power of Friendship speeches.
So yeah, it is a cloak of manta ray that IKEA would show you how to work on yourself. And it would snap onto your neck real tight, and you would have gills.
So just putting on the cloak gives gaming gills?
When you raise the hood, it does.
Ah. Well, I guess Gaiman would put on the cloak, try it on, put up the hood to see, does this work? And then immediately start suffocating Because he has fucking gills now, and it's supposed to breathe water.
You have both. You have both.
I have both. Excuse me.
You
Okay.
have both.
Is that how that works?
Well, now I'm gonna double check.
Yeah.
Are there creatures out there that have both lungs and gills? That's not important. This was just a quick aside in the monthly time skip. So you
Yep.
guys did go to Mer de Weldon. You went fishing. You were successful in fishing, and you discovered that there actually is a lake monster in Mer de Weldon who is intelligent. Too intelligent, some might say. Excellent. Not to put a wrench into the manta ray discussion, but you can teach him how to use the manta ray in the time skip. Going back to our 10 towns map, now that we know what Akia was up to, what would Alicia have gotten up to during the 1 month time skip?
Ooh, Alicia was a busybody. Or a busy bee.
Was a busy body or was a busybody?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
So I guess the first and immediate thing would be tending to all of the wounded from all of the ruined settlements. And helping with the rebuilding efforts in some of the other settlements. But also kind of using that time to take a couple of digs at the Church of Auril. I had posted it in the Discord. But essentially, yeah, so seeing as how the Church of Auril did not involve themselves in defending against the Shadowy Dragon, yet the Light of Miracles, well, the Shadowy Dragon and the Horde of Undead that were encroaching, but the Light of Miracles that emerged and helped the defenders of Targos to vanquish the Horde. But what did the Frostmaiden do when the settlements needed their help? Or needed its help? What did the Frostmaiden do when the settlements needed help? Nothing. The Lord of Light saw our struggles and answered our prayers, but what did Lady Frostkiss do? Nothing. And would essentially be using the triage that they are assisting with people's recoveries to kind of to see, not so much seed rumors, but to spread gospel, so to speak, that Lady Frostkiss and all these sacrifices that we've been doing to her have done jack shit, especially when something came to threaten our town. So that's one of the things that Alicia is kind of doing while helping with the rebuilding efforts.
Good word of Lathander with your bandages.
Yep. Prayer circles, healing circles, and a little bit of truth. So that would be kind of like the first half of the month, would just be helping people recover and stuff. The second half would be researching, and that would kind of be split into two topics. The first one would be Grimscald, trying to get more information about that location, and also kind of building up resources and knowledge in order to do a expedition there. And then the second topic of research would be on Lady Frostkiss herself. It's been a little bit of a combination of the driving force that the Shardlin was kind of having on Alicia, but also this revelation of being affected by whatever light had occurred at the end of the dragon fight, that has kind of driven Alicia to kind of pursue this a little bit more doggedly. Sun needs to return, so they are very busy and consumed with their task, and don't really meet with anyone else unless they kind of like specifically go and seek Alicia out. So I guess the one other thing is that maybe if hearing that Avalis was wanting to go see the Elven Temple, would probably ask to accompany him along with Danica, because I know Danica wasn't there the first time that we went. So and that was where we got the information about Grimskull. So we'd definitely bring Danica along to start putting coconuts together and trying to figure out more about this location.
Absolutely. So your efforts are strong in most of the communities that you go to dissuade people from further joining the Church of Auril. But from swaying their already converted members seems to be a Herculean task that will take many months or perhaps longer. However, your efforts do ring true for many people of Ten Towns, so their membership drive is being held to a minimum, which is huge for you all because they gained a lot of members from the people, from the refugees who left their, well, broken and beaten down cities. Now, Grimskull itself. Your research, or wanting to research this, actually reconnects you with Danica.
That was gonna be one of the kind of lesser things. I think that the Chardon was kind of pushing them a little bit away from making personal connections, but now kind of being purged of it. I think they would be a little bit more forward in connecting with Danica, both scholarly and on a personal relationship.
Yes. Danica, and you could reconvene in the city of Bryn Shander, and she would tell you, Alicia, I'm sorry that I could not come with you all to the Despot's hideout and into the defense of Ten Towns itself, but I have learned many things in our times apart, and from researching with our little friends, pointing to the nature spirits, the Chewingas, that you all rescued so long ago.
Oh, your research has turned up something.
Yes,
Well,
I've learned many
don't
things.
spare. I'm very interested to know.
It seems that the Isle of Grimskull, this fortress, is in itself a moving island within the seas of moving ice. To the north of our current location. And through the research and the whispers of the Chewingas, they have told me that Auril can will the island to move, to drift away, or to be anchored to its very spot. And for that reason, we might not be able to find it on any map.
That makes this difficult. That mirror at the tomb that we had found. Would this be before or after visiting the tomb with her?
We would say that this is before you guys visited the tomb.
Okay. Then yeah. Well, that tomb that you never got to visit, we only told you about it. The mirror had point when we asked it about how to possibly end this endless night. It said that whatever secrets would be behind it would be at Grimskull, and if this location is being willed by Auril, that definitely makes sense. Now getting to it's gonna be a problem.
Yes, I can think of two ways off the top of my head, and of course from the help of our little friends here. One of them. I don't know if you all are going to be too keen on, but I will tell you. There is a whale that they are friends with.
Go on.
This whale knows the way to the isle. He is drawn to it. Engajuk is his name, and she will write that and give it to you in case you need to reference it later. Engajuk can put us in its mouth, and we can ride with the whale to the isle.
Like a underwater vessel?
She nods. Yes. And while riding underwater in Engajuk's mouth, we will be protected from, well, anything that would attack us on the surface. And Engajuk, according to our friends here, is so large, we wouldn't need to worry about being attacked by anything under the water.
But just in case, I'm gonna make sure to prepare. Oh god, is it on my list of spells? We may have to talk to Avalis about that. Trying to see if breathing water is on the cleric spell list. I don't think it's on the new one. Why would they get rid of it? That may be something that we'll have to ask Avalis about.
That would be a smart plan. The second, they have told me that the Goliaths of the Sky Tower shelter know how to train griffins. So, if we can somehow make it to Sky Tower shelter, we could perhaps try to rent or bargain to use griffins to ride the skies to Auril's island.
Both are very interesting methods. Maybe we'll have to consult with the others to see which one they would prefer. I'm hoping to get all the specifics of this expedition down by the end of the month. Maybe in the meantime, we can glean some additional information. Would you like to go to the Elven Temple with me?
Of course. I've been thinking about it for such a long while. We didn't get the opportunity to go to it together.
I think Avalis did mention it. So seek him out as well. Hopefully he's still around the area.
We should all go together. Safety in numbers and all. You told me that was the place you all fought the great white moose.
It was. So that threat's been dealt with, but there were a couple of talking wolves that were there as well. So maybe we may have to deal with them all over again.
We face one threat, and another rears its head. This land is unforgiving.
This land needs the sun back. That beam of light that hit me during our confrontation with the dragon, that in combination with the Chardelin, I think we really do this. This land has been shrouded in darkness for far too long, especially those who seem to try and take advantage of that fact. Lathander also does not care for the undead and the fact that they were just allowed to roam so freely during that night. well, that cannot be allowed to happen anymore.
I agree. We must discover the secrets of Grimskull and what it might contain for, well, you all, the Thanes, the heroes of Ten Towns, and the region and its people.
I still can't get over that word, heroes.
It is a difficult thing to handle, I'm sure. I don't bear its weight. I am sorry that you all will have to do so. But in a way, I'm almost not, because I am thankful for you all.
Alicia would give her a smile and just kind of do like a playful shoulder hit and be like, well, hopefully you're not going to be leaving my side anytime soon again. Could use a second head to knock some ideas around with.
Of course. There won't be no splitting of our parties any longer. It's all hands on deck. Whether we're on Griffin Beck or in Whale Mouth. And the Chewingas all are jumping up and down like, yeah, whale adventure. Whale adventure, pick that one.
But yeah, that's pretty much the busy month of preaching gospel and researching with Alicia. And
Love
yeah,
it.
definitely if people are kind of like spread out, Alicia would send a missive to them, to everyone to kind of be like, this is some of the things that I'm thinking about. Would you be on board to go do it? I know you have your own tasks that you're kind of doing right now, but just give me a response if you feel interested.
Lotus would send a message to you back and say that she is all for it, and in fact that she's actually been doing some research herself with Watto about making an expedition to the crashed mind flare ship.
Maybe we should tackle that first, and then once that's been completed, we can start looking into going over to Grimskull. I feel like that's going to be quite the endeavor if it's being controlled by Auril in such a personal manner.
Who knows, we may be able to find some tools to help us there.
That would be one thing.
And everyone. I wanted to give everyone a point of DM inspiration because you guys have been playing it well here in this time skip. It's very exciting to me. I'm having a good time. Excellent. We have now figured out what Alicia is doing in the time skip. Now, surely, last but not least, what is Gaiman doing in this time skip of 1 month?
So, Gaiman, not having relinquished his newfound intellect, is wanting to put it to use. His main goal, apart from helping Akia, because again he feels that Akia needs guidance given the recent changes in the people that are around Akia and how that's impacting his behavior, is Gaiman is wanting to prepare for the inevitable fight with the hag, do as much research on hags as possible, possibly searching down any of those who might, be allies or serve her, and interrogate them. And then also, Gaiman's wanting to do, same sort of thing, also with the Arcane Brotherhood, because he views those as, with Alicia, going after the Church of Auril here, kind of feels like that's going to be, inevitably just going to kind of fall apart, given her efforts. But feels that like the Hag and the Arcane Brotherhood, if left unaddressed, will be an insidious threat.
Absolutely. So you are able to find a lowly member of the Hag's drug dealing operation operating near the burning ruins, or the burnt out ruins at this point, of East Haven. And you are able to interrogate and get a lot of information out of them about the Hag. The first thing you learn is the Hag's name, or what she tells her followers to call them. Maud Chiselbone. You also learn that Maud operates out of a cave network along the shores of Lake Denishar. And once a month, her dealers have to go there to resupply. So he would give you, or this person you're interrogating, a map. To get to the Cauldron Caves, as they are called.
Sorry, where were they located?
They are on the shores of Lake Denishar.
Ah, okay.
Mm-hmm. They do not know any weaknesses, unfortunately enough, to Maud, but they do know that she is constantly asking those to stay for dinner, but it feels like a false offer to most people that arrive.
Because anyone who stayed for dinner, they were never seen again.
Yes, they quickly become dinner, and they become a toothpick for Maud.
I imagine her favorite dish to have with company is ribs.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And they would tell you that the caverns themselves are a terrifying place, as the whole system is filled with corpses that have been frozen under the waters. So as you walk, you can see the floating skeletons pushing up into the ice. So that's what you would learn about the Hag. The Arcane Brotherhood. You did learn a couple of things. First, you learned that a wizard was actually burned at the stake in East Haven. And that happened, well, while you all were adventuring. You can trace the dates back, and using your keen intellect, you're like, oh, we were on the wilds when we went to the Durgar Despot's hideout. This guy got burnt at the stake. It was discovered that this wizard they burned was actually a red wizard of Thay.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
The common people really just up and fucked up a red wizard of Thay.
Mm-hmm. They grab him and they burn him. He kept casting shield, but he forgot that shield doesn't affect grapple checks.
No, it does not.
The time stop, it didn't go off. D&D movie. So one of their members, you believe, well, is burnt at the stake. The other information you collect from your contacts in the organization you're a part of would speak of a tiefling, white-skinned, mysterious, near Caer Dineval. The two others appear to be human female wizards, but their whereabouts are unknown within the Dale.
In my research, not so much for the Arcane Brotherhood, but for the hag. Do I know if hags in general are susceptible to fire?
You would think in general, hags are either not resistant to fire, or some might be not vulnerable, weak to fire because of their properties as fey creatures. Unfortunately, or fortunately, you are not facing off with some sort of magma hag or fire hag. She appears to be a lake hag, as she was described by your captured interrogatee.
In that case, after interrogating and getting the map, Jamin's I guess sub quest off of the research is going to be getting on. It's going to be acquiring a big sack of alchemist fire vials.
We could put that into circle back to Akia asking if, hey, does anybody have a a crafting request?
Alchemist fire. Lots and lots of alchemist fire.
I don't deal with chemicals. Sorry.
Then what fucking good are you to me?
Damn.
Sorry. The one thing
This
Akia
was said
doesn't
out
know
of
how to
character.
make. The only thing Akia can't make is potions.
Damn.
Oh no.
We can't be good at everything.
Do you not have a alchemy supply kit or herbalism kit or anything like that?
Correct.
Artificers that aren't good at everything? What blasphemy is that?
What horse shit is this?
Mm-hmm. Do I need to call Jeremy Crawford and have him fly in on his white horse and give you that proficiency?
Nah, it's alright.
Tomorrow's errata. Artificers get proficiency in everything.
They also become full casters. And if you play as an artificer, you as a player but actually become a full caster as well.
I could have actually taken that proficiency. I took brewer's supplies instead. I figured alcohol was more important for the campaign.
You're not wrong. It's the chief drink of all of Tin Town citizens.
And I felt coming from good mead, it was thematically appropriate.
Hey, I love it. Well, excellent. So, Gaiman, thank you. I feel like we've figured out most of your time skip. Now, I did ask Lotus, was there any changes to her powers? Was there any notable changes or powers to Akia that we would notice when you all reconvened?
I don't feel like it. They would just have Kumaki would be back. They would have mainly spent a lot of time at the shop, doing research, fixing some doors. I don't think any real observable changes in Akia.
Okay. Good to know. Let us ask Avalos the same question. Avalos. Okay. Alicia's doing some crafting via ceremony.
Not really. Because the only change would be something that doesn't happen until the vision quest. So.
Excellent. Well then, do we notice any changes in Alicia after the time skip or from her level up to level 8?
I think we already kind of saw the immediate one was the immediate bleaching of the hair that went from stark black to stark white. And from that, it seemed they had gained a couple of new spells. And their wisdom is also maxed out to 20. So there's kind of that.
Yeah, that's big stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now that we know that about Alicia after the time skip, finally, Gaiman, do we notice any physical changes, any changes to Gaiman's attitude, or new powers that he seems to exhibit? If you're talking, we can't hear you.
Lose him.
Did we lose you, Gaiman?
Sorry, dogs.
Okay, I can understand that.
Yeah, I mean, if I can't get Alchemist fire, I guess I just have to go with the basic stuff, oil and torches.
Oh, you could definitely purchase some alchemist fire. I was hoping that Akia was going to be like, brother, I got you, and start making some alchemist fire.
I do have the closest thing I have is those incendiary grenades, which are just reflavored. What's it called?
Bonfire, right?
Yeah, bonfire scrolls. But those do not exactly serve the same purpose because you got to concentrate on it. You can't use it while
Exactly.
raging. But you
Well,
do have
I mean-
one.
They are available for purchase in Bridgeshander at the very high price of 50 gold pieces per vial.
Hmm. It would be something that Gamer would have to like work up to, or if you couldn't work out some method of trade, you'd be honest and I just don't have the cash on hand. Perhaps we could work something out and trade. I mean, I can work, do our jobs, things like that. Just I need it for a good cause. There's a hag selling drugs, and if I stop the supply, and if we can bring make things better in the towns, that'll take care of the demand side of things, and just make life better for everyone.
The person you're talking to actually says something interesting. They're like, well, there is something that I think we could work out.
All right, I'm listening.
Well, I'm interested in a location, you see. There is this chasm in the Dale. And it's said that the chasm might contain an enchanted fishhook that could catch magical fish. However, the fisherman said to own this fishhook were on the ice one day when a pair of, well, thieves attacked them. They killed the fishermen and stole their magical fishing pole and hook. Hunters from, well, what used to be East Haven tracked the thieves to an icy rift in the ground, who were too scared to go further. I'd be willing to give you 10 vials of alchemist fire if you were to recover the magical fishing pole and fish hook.
I mean, that seems reasonable.
Yes. And if you were to return it to me, of course, I will give you the alchemist fire vials, and you'll be making a family, or a series of families here, very happy, as it is a family heirloom.
All right, I'll see what I can do about rustling up a magical fishing pole and hook.
We're going on a side quest, peeps. Yep. This feels like a certain town that starts with the letter V at the moment. I don't know if you all feel that way, but it's getting a little tasty. So yes, if Gaiman is seeking out a way to get those alchemy fire vials, he can get 10 of them for completing this quest.
All right. Gaiman will present this to the group at some point.
Excellent. And this gives the perfect opportunity for the group to all come together to speak about going to the Elven Tomb once again.
Also, this now just occurred to me, seeing Red on the map with us. Gaiman would privately seek out Red and apologize for all the times he accused Red of being evil. Because now that Gaiman's smarter, he realizes that just because he's an awakened bush, it doesn't automatically make him evil. And this is, of course, Gaiman knows what evil is now, and for reasons, and just wanted to apologize privately.
Wow, I didn't think that you would ever come around to me, Sir Gaiman.
It's just Gaiman. But yeah, I had some recent experiences, and I realise now that I was off base and making an accusation like that, and I just wanted to apologise.
Well, thank you, and well, I know this might be too much for today. Would you like one of my berries?
I appreciate the offer, but I think those are best served for when we're in dire situations.
Oh, you're probably right. I don't want you to get too full up and then not be able to benefit from one of my berries later.
Wise words.
They will not forget this.
In a good way for once.
Mm-hmm. This was a good. Heroes, yeah, this is a opportunity for you all to meet up and then talk about what to do next. We could say that this is happening at the North Look Inn in Bryn Shander, your old meeting place.
Well,
We're not meeting at the Bouncy Goat.
Oh, do you guys wish to meet at the Bouncy Goat instead?
I mean, I'm not partial one way or the other. Just it's always fun to say the Bouncy Goat.
Oh, it is of course very fun to say the Bouncy Goat.
And
Yeah,
it's
but
fun to
there's
make Akia
sticky
uncomfortable.
floors.
And the bouncy goat it is. You will set a predetermined time and place to meet up at the bouncy goat, maybe to check to see if they have been keeping up with their floor maintenance. To make sure, of course, that they listen to what Gaiman said about keeping the the floor clean. Otherwise, he was going to come back and bust some heads. So let me go ahead and activate the bouncy goats. And if we're going to be at the bouncy goat, we got to have some tavern music.
Just in case it becomes relevant, is this at the after the time skip is over?
I was assuming that you guys have a little bit of time skip time left, because at the end of the time skip, I assume you guys are going to do something crazy. So we'll say that this is still within the confines of the time skip.
Okay.
Well, if we're going to be heading to the tomb and asking some questions of the mirror, perhaps we should do like we did before, and Rose will open up her notebook. We should decide what questions we're going to ask beforehand.
Did we still have uses of it left? I wasn't sure.
I believe it reactivates when you power it with moonlight.
Well, if that's
If
the
my
case,
understanding is correct.
if that's the case, then yeah, we should have some questions prepared.
I have roughly 32 questions that I could pose the mirror.
I will say that since I had asked quite a few last time, I will limit myself to just one.
Although none of them are pressing. They are all about rare crafting materials.
Well then, and Lotus will just mark a number 1 on her journal. All right, who would want to go first?
Well, I already have an idea of what I want to do, since Grimskull was already pointed out. I think that's really kind of covering most of what I'm looking for.
Has everyone at this point shared like the information that they've gathered? Has anything been kept secret?
All Avalis is telling you is that he is getting visions to go there from Sylvanas, but he doesn't tell you why.
To go to
the mirror in the tomb.
Okay.
Well, if we're getting questions answered, I mean, I've got things that I've been trying to, run down information, like getting those questions answered without having to be overly persuasive with a person might be beneficial.
Well, there you go, Gaiman.
Yeah, I've been trying to, deal with the problem of the hag.
Oh yes, we did encounter some visage of it when we were trying to come back from the fortress.
Yeah, in my efforts, I've found out where she hides out, and her cave's a bit of a labyrinth. So far, I've worked out that fire, alchemist fire, might be a good tool to have on hand. But knowing other things that might be a weakness for her could be useful. Because I don't know how easy it is to find this magical fishing rod and whatnot to get the Aqua's fire I need. Expensive stuff.
All right. Would you say that's your
Gaiman.
question, Gaiman, to tell us the hag's weaknesses?
Yeah. Also, I've been trying to work up some information on the Arcane Brotherhood.
I know I've been busy for the past couple of. But Gaiman, if you needed fire, and then Alicia will just produce a small bead of light in their hand.
Whoa. Hey, not in a crowded space like this.
I'm not going to set it off. I'm just saying, if you needed fire, you could ask.
Listen, you and I both know we were having a bit of a, moment not too long ago, and then you go putting fucking fireball out like that, cool as a cucumber. Listen, this is literally a tinderbox, and yes, I know I threatened to burn the place down, but there's a time and a place.
Fair enough.
I have 3 questions.
All right. Well, I think first, since you seem to know a fair bit about the hag already, perhaps asking the mirror about the location of the Arcane Brotherhood then.
Well, it's more of a concept than like, an organization. And again, I've got some information about them. And apparently, a red wizard, I find this a little hard to believe, but apparently one red wizard was burned at the stake about the same time we were fucking around with the Durgar. And then there's this, tiefling lady, and then there's like a couple other, members running around.
Wait, hold on. Let's hold hand. You mentioned a white tiefling.
Yeah, she's supposed to be part of the Arcane Brotherhood.
Right. And Lotus will flip back through the notebook. You mean like this? And it'll be the tiefling that she saw in the mirror before. Is that her?
I guess. I don't know how come I know what tieflings. I just got a general description.
Gaiman, when I was at the mirror last time, it said she's the one who could fix me.
All right, but my understanding of the Arcane Brotherhood is, they're not good lads and lasses. It might be fixing you for a cost.
They
Might be a pretty steep cost.
Aren't. And just to rewind it back, you said there was a red wizard that was here?
Allegedly. My understanding of wizards, they're pretty powerful lots. I find it kind of hard to believe that, he just got pummeled by a bunch of, rubes and then burned at the stake. That seems like a pretty basic bait and switch just to throw off the set, personally speaking.
That in and of itself is very troublesome. DM, how common would it be to know of they or some of the stuff that they do?
It is actually well known by most people on the Sword Coast of the dangers of Fae. They are treated as boogeymen. So, families will tell their kids, if you are bad, the red wizards will come for you. It is very much a Cold War situation where the peoples of Faerun, the peoples of the Sword Coast, are constantly waiting for a Thayan invasion, for Sastem to finally gain the courage to take his undead army and march it upon the Sword Coast.
Okay, so some of the some of the knowledge from the movie is applicable here.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
If you guys are not lore hounds, they bad. Everyone knows they bad. If you see a red wizard, there's basically 2 options. Everyone starts running, or everyone is like, attack the wizard!
I back up Gaiman's statement. Something is very off. I mean, red wizards are very powerful. The fact that their nation is led by a lich that itself, Zastam, is very troubling. So, the fact that one was here and then was
again allegedly, and then they were allegedly burned at the stake.
Yeah, that's what troubles me. That's way too easy.
Right.
Hmm.
Do you think that they might have framed someone and that the person burned at the stake was a regular citizen?
Oh, I mean, if I was trying to, hide my identity, um, don't take this the wrong way, after recent events, but it's what I would do.
Hmm. Okay, well, that's one thing that we need to look into. This arcane brotherhood and whatever switching bait that's Red Wizard
Bait and
may
switch.
have bait and switch. My apologies. May have performed. Avalis, did I hear correctly that you said you had 3 questions that you wish to ask?
Yes, 3.
All right,
Care
lay 'em on us, brother.
to elaborate?
I suppose if you must know. Oh, apparently he is stuck in a wall, so he cannot move. But
Fabulous, no.
Oh, the cameraman was stuck in a wall and you were trying to control the cameraman.
oh, I'm not. I don't want the cameraman. Oh, what? What? I'm confused.
This is
I'm trying-
Avalis.
I'm trying to just control one token, but they all seem to move together.
Here, let me get rid of the
It's
cameraman.
probably because we all have permissions.
It's so weird. Avos will come up to the table with everyone else, trying to not be super antisocial.
Too late.
True, but it is my nature. There is a woman who haunts my dreams. One that I do not recall ever having met. I would know who she is and what her significance is to my destiny. I would also like the mirror to reveal to me what became of the Aladrin of my people in this land, if there are any that remain. And finally, I would ask the mirror to be a conduit to channel the will of Sylvanas and show me the path that I must tread to uphold his teachings and safeguard the balance of nature. Since you asked.
Oh, serious question, considering the only woman I know that comes in my dreams is the hag. Is she old, wrinkly, and got clawed fingers?
No, she is actually very beautiful with crystal blue eyes and fair skin and long white hair. Like myself, but a woman.
Oh, I mean, you know what? I'm gonna leave the inside thoughts inside.
Avalos doesn't pick up on anything and just goes, okay.
Well, I guess for me, since it showed me my mother, and I'm sure she's still emotionally distraught after so long, but I'd want to ask the mirror about my best friend Diamante and be sure she's doing well.
I mean, here's a thought. I mean, if you can find your weave thingy back at this ship, you keep going on about wanting to go back to the ship. Couldn't you just, theoretically banish yourself? You'll go back to your plane of existence, and won't your thingy then work since it's on that weave at that point, and you could message her real quick, and then unbanish yourself back here.
I mean, maybe. I look. I even barely understand the magic I have access to myself. You know, even in the past month, Flavy has barely spoken up about anything. Like, the only thing I remembered was it said I got a new spell slot, and when it asked me to pick what new spell I wanted, it had me pick out something called. I picked out something called haste because that seemed pretty cool.
As you say that, Flavy says, I was instructed to only speak when spoken to. Would you like me to start giving more commentary and my opinion? I can speak more if you would wish, Master Lotus.
Yes, I would like that actually. I think since I've starting to grow and a bit more used to your presence, I think that would be appreciated.
They speak loudly. Everyone, I will start giving my opinions louder now.
All right. Well, if you're going to be speaking up your opinions, you better be ready to suffer repercussions if you're going to be a smartass.
I am willing to suffer these these consequences in case I have done something wrong. I will hope to not do something wrong in your eyes, Lord Gaiman.
Lord Gaming, that's a bit much.
My honorific settings have been set too high.
Evidently.
I think you would make a good Lord, Gaiman.
I guess, but I mean, what is a lord? I mean, it's some puffed up wanker who just happened to be born to the right family. That doesn't make a lord.
I think that is a perfect attitude for a lord to have.
Well, great. If there's ever a vote for who should be lord in these parts, you can put my name up for it.
But I guess to really answer your question, Gaiman, I'm very wary of using such strong magic for personal gain. You know, even if it's would just temporarily take me back home. I don't know. It's just I don't want to go back there until I know for sure that everything's here. Because, well, what if it doesn't work? What if I end up getting stuck there? And what if how would I get back to you all?
Well, in that case, we would make do. I mean, I understand you don't want to leave Watto behind. It's about resource management, ain't it? Not managing one's expectations and using the tools you got available. So you happen to have these powers. I mean, why not use them to your advantage? I'm not saying like frivolously or abusing them. And the fact that you're asking these questions suggests that you give it a lot of thought and you're concerned for your proper usage. So I honestly think that right off the bat kind of eliminates the whole concern of am I being ethical in usage. Not to mention, I mean, we can only ask this mirror so many questions, and if you've got tools at your disposal to reach out to Diamante, I mean, use them. But I mean, I think that the questions, if they can give us a straight up answer, I mean, for other things that are maybe not quite so accessible, reserve it for that. Like the whole, people we don't know much about, like where is this white tiefling? Who is this lady in Avalis's dreams? Things that we can't readily suss out. But I mean, you've got powers, you've got a thingy, a device, you call it, back at the ship. If it's working, poof, bounce back to your home realm, try and use it real quick, make sure everyone's okay, and then bounce back. It's just my 2 coppers.
Right? Well, in that case, instead of asking, besides, Diamante's always been good at taking care of herself.
Again, it's just my 2 coppers. If you want to ask the question, ask the question. I'm just, pointing out some, other options.
Right. Well,
It's food for thought.
I think I'll keep this question, but Well, does anyone else have any others we want? We would have two more left.
I have some technical questions I could ask. Just about arcane things.
Is there a common thread? Not. It's like
Well,
is there like in one issue, sort of overlaps.
um, well, more specifically, I was thinking that I could ask the mirror how a Wii phone works or how to make one. If I learned about its construction, then once we find Miss Lotus's, I could better repair it. Or if it was completely destroyed, I might be able to make her a new one. And then I had other general questions. I guess that I could roll them into a question about where I should look for more exotic material.
It is interesting you would mention the Weave phone, Akia. The thing is, the company that manufactured my Weave phone isn't their only device. They would make all sorts of things. And then she basically starts rattling off all sorts of, well, what she knows is modern technology. And they were always good about plastering their logo on the whole thing. And whenever you turned on something, it would always say the same thing. It'd go, boom, Weave Tech, the magic that connects us.
Yes, I will be sure to put my brand on anything I make.
As you should, Akia. As you should.
I was gonna ask how to best circumvent this control that Auril has on this moving island that seems to be out in the ice. There's a way of reaching it easier. I have two methods that I've learned about, but maybe there's a third one that hasn't been discovered just yet. But it seems our questions are full up already.
I will say, I do trust Lady Danica's wisdom, and the Chewingas have been fairly helpful to us thus far.
I don't know how well Alicia can read number 13's face. They have an extremely high perception, but
And
Akia also
insight.
doesn't have any muscles in their face. But
do you want me to roll an insight check on you, or?
No, that's okay. I think you would just notice something's going on between you and Akia. There's something weird going on.
Okay.
Especially when you mention Grimskull. But also when you're talking about Lathander to the people. And there's just there's something on Akia's mind. Anyway.
I will say that I think I have reconsidered my question. As I said, Diamante was always there for me, and she's always been good at taking care of herself, even whenever I wasn't around. And I think Gaiman is right that I should ask it something I shouldn't necessarily be able to find out easily, something I always wanted to know, and even this thing, even though it's attached to my head and seemed to access my memories, can't even tell me. I want to know. She just gulps nervously. It's like, I want to know about the day my father left, when it just became just me and my mother.
How does the party react to Lotus's new question?
Trying to find the best way of saying this. At least it doesn't have an issue with the question. But it's still trying to figure, since it seems all 7 have been used. Matt Lex is trying to figure out the best way of who's willing to cut one of their questions. And how's the best way to ask this?
Akia is not picking up on that at all.
Well, this is Matt.
Atlas doesn't have the insight for that either. But
this is Matt that's or Lex that's trying to figure this out. I guess also Alicia too.
Lotus, are you having issues recalling your own memories?
Well, just those from, that particular day. Like, it's weird, like ever since I started learning, I found out about him and about who he really is, and like here and look, and I figure this has to be the best way for me to find out about it, because you don't have to remind me. I'm sure that getting any information from, and she just sort of looks around and then just sort of starts saying, from who is not going to end well for me.
The devil in the 9 hells.
And it's just nods, goes, mm-hmm.
Since I have been given permission to reveal things that I may or may not know, I do seem to have access to this memory. If you would love or like me to reveal it to you, Flavy says.
Well, Ghost is just distraught at the moment, and it's just going through a lot of emotions very quickly, and she's like, well, yes. And then suddenly blurts out, like, yes, please do.
Do you want?
As she says yes. Go ahead, Lex.
Alicia was gonna kind of stop you and be like, maybe you should do this in privacy of somewhere. Oh wait, too late.
big screen pops up like a movie theater.
Yep. Projector screen on the side of the wall.
We hear like the real spin.
Right.
So the lenses of Flavy turn a different shade of white and begin to project an image down onto the wall in front of you all. And you are all taken into a suburban home. Maryland. Late 90s.
I
You
understood
see-
virtually none of those words.
You see what appears to be a young Lotus playing with toys on the ground, seemingly constructing a scene out of Legos. You see an older dragonborn woman wearing glasses, her head tentacles / horns tied back into a tight knot. You see a blue-skinned man, curling horns and Van Dyke beard, looking over to her as he says, "Now, damn it, Maria, you know that I can't stay. I've been here too long as it is." And she says, "But Levy, you said that you could stay. You said that they wouldn't be able to find you here." And he says, "Maria, it was only a matter of time. Asmodeus always gets what he's after. And I don't want him to get." And you see him look over towards Lotus. "I don't want him to get her. I have to go. Of the 10,000 years of my life, this has been the best view." And you see that his blue body begins to walk away from Maria as he opens the door to the kitchen. And as he does so, and he closes it, his body disappears in a flash of light. Lotus's mother, Maria, runs to the door, banging on it with her hands as she exclaims, "No," over and over. And Lotus, you would look up and say, "What to your mother?"
It's like, Mom, where's Dad? I want to show him the castle I made.
And she looks over to you and she says, "Your dad had to go out. Your dad had to go out, Lotus."
Oh, is
Yeah,
he
you
is he
go
going to get more milk?
And she just walks to the back to her room, and you hear the door shut. And the camera lens spins, turns, and Flavy shuts off.
And as it does, you just see Lotus is slumped down and tears are streaming down her face. And she's like, God damn it. She knew. She fucking knew all that time. And she never fucking told me.
Two things. One, Alicia would look around the room. Were other people watching this?
It seems like no one noticed that this was happening. Either they
Oh.
didn't notice or they couldn't see.
Interesting. Could we see this?
You all saw this as this was happening.
Okay. And then the second thing is, watching that scene, did it seem like Levy, his body was solid?
Yes,
Like,
he
was
was
there,
a
like,
solid body.
Okay. That shouldn't be possible. They say that Lavestus is chained and restrained in his hell. So how was he able to actually physically be able to get out? Both fascinating and also highly concerning. I'm sorry, Lotus, I didn't mean to personal memory of yours and start analyzing.
Why, why, why did they hide this from me?
The society of fiends, especially devils, is very complex. I don't have any answers for it. I wish I did, but
Well,
I don't.
I guess it looks like I won't be changing my question after all.
Kumikyu will come over, lay in your lap, like a dog that notices when their master's crying.
Also look down and then move a hand down, gently start rubbing down Kumikyu's back. Just say, thank you, little one.
If you ever want to talk about it, just know that my door's. I'll leave you to your thoughts, Lotus.
Thank you.
Everyone else, I am planning to make an expedition to Grimskull at some point. Still gathering research and materials. I'll let you know if there's anything else that I come across. And Alicia will kind of walk over to Lotus and kind of give them a hug. Again, my door's always open. And we'll leave.
Yeah, Lotus will hug you back and then just sort of still stroking Kumakyu and with the notebook open to the 7 questions. You see where the charcoal's there where she was about to cross out her old question. It's just still sitting there.
This feels really awkward.
Were we deciding where to go next?
Well, I mean, I think we're still headed for the ruins and the magic mirror. I'm just hoping, Avalis, that you'll be able to find the answers that you want.
If it is Sylvanus' will, I hope that it is revealed to me. He will guide my path and my actions.
Being you and that. I wish I could have the strength of faith like you do.
The Oak Father, he is a stern parent, but there is kindness and love there. You could be welcome if you sought solace in his boughs.
possibly, but I mean no offense when I say this, but I've always found solace in things closer to home. Usually family and friends. But
Then perhaps that is your path.
and you'll see her, she does genuinely smile to you and say, but regardless of what happens, I want to make sure you all know I do appreciate everything that you all have done for me. You've been more like a family to me, and well, than I think my actual family has now that from what I've seen.
Lotus, if I have discovered anything in my short time, it's that life is often knotted and curled up upon itself, the path unclear. You have shown yourself to be one that likes riddles and challenges, has never seemed to let what is unknown stand in her way. Your seeking of the truth uh, helps to unknot those paths and leave life and its wake clearer for those that follow. Perhaps that is your path.
Things you say are wiser than you know, Avalis. That's. I think I have some things I need to discuss with Watto after what I've seen.
Akia, I worry about the Yeti and the bees. I don't know how that will go, but it might be interesting to figure out.
Indeed. Lotus, before I go, it seems that you are questioning your mother's status as your mother. I believe if anyone was in the same situation, that their child was having a parent from another plane of existence, they would wait some time into their adulthood before letting them know. I believe informing a child of the parentage at a young age would be harmful.
Seems to think about that for a moment. I admit it is a rather unique situation. Still, I remember seeing the way she looked when I first asked in the mirror. I mean, sure, for me it's been a few months, but for her it's been that long? Even longer? Couldn't say for how long for sure. I'm sure the local police have been sitting around with their thumbs up their asses, not really doing anything.
Do the local police have the ability to cross dimensions?
She just sort of starts laughing hysterically. It's like, yeah, believe me, the Baltimore Police Department would rather spend their budget on uh, military hardware than they would anything like that.
Akia pretends to understand what you're talking about.
Short answer, Kia, no, they most certainly do not. But I do say there is one thread that I haven't really pulled on yet that I'm not sure might be connected. I was kidnapped by mind flayers, and I'm just wondering how they factor into all this. And then suddenly her eyes go wide. She'll grabs the charcoal, crosses out her question, and then writes down, "How did the mind flayers find me on Earth?" And you just see her just scratching that down in all capital letters.
I'm just gonna put this out there, OOC. I feel like anything but Gaiman's side quest has the ability to set events in motion that were that would just go out of how to put it.
Might spiral out of control.
Sort of, not exactly what I was going for. Close enough. I think Gaiman's side quest is the safest bet for actually just being a side quest that we can go do, and it would also possibly resolve the whole hag following us thing, because that's gonna be annoying. Just having a hag harrying us all the time. So if a vote was to be done, I would definitely want to follow Gaiman's side quest.
So I need to let's do a poll. Side quest interest. Okay, so the first option is the Lake Hag of Lake Dineshar. The second option, of course, would be the crashed Mind Flayer ship. And you guys are wanting to go see the Elven Tomb. Is that being counted into the side quest options here, or is that a separate thing?
I think that's
I think-
probably a separate thing that would take place before all of this others.
Absolutely. So what are our other options here? You have the Crash Mind Flayer ship, the Lake Hag of Loch Dineshar. Do you have, well, what other options are you thinking? The whale.
More just Grimskull in general, which is very determined to figure out what's going on there.
I mean, would we not be taking the whale?
I mean, there's also the option of the Griffins.
So we would be taking the whale then.
There's also the option of the Griffins. I mean,
We've
if
got four
everyone
options
is
here.
I mean, the overall thing is getting to Grimskull, but it depends on which route to get there, whale or Griffins.
I'm voting for the Lake Hag, but also to include the side quest to go get the magic fishing tackle first.
Oh yes, I forgot that in the thing, because we also have magic fishing tackle. We will include that in the Lake Hag quest description that you guys want to go do the fishing hooks, so you can have like 1,000 things of of alchemist fire.
Yeah, because we don't want to get to the ship and be like, haha, the hag makes it fall through the ice, you know.
Melissa's gonna abstain.
Yep.
or like get to the mirror and the hag cracks the mirror or something. I don't know. I just think the hag could get real annoying real fast. And
Or you guys
that's
go to
in
pick-
character as well as out of
you guys
character.
pick up Lotus's phone and it has a new password locked on it, and you see that the background picture has been changed.
So, moral of the story: this hag is a petty bitch.
Oh yeah, the background picture is now a picture of her butt.
Ah,
Not even just that; it's just a thought pose of her.
Oh man, I'm all for a good thought pose. I got to work on mine for my new student ID. Well, it looks like. Oh, and I guess, guys, there's too many side quests. We also forgot Goblin Village. All right, I gotta
mean,
make
if
It wasn't forgotten; it was prioritized.
Well,
I
if getting
mean-
game it's hitched is on the table, I'll vote for that.
I mean, if we want to add everything, there's also a Great Red Yeti.
Well, then I think the first thing to handle is the Lake Hag of Lake Denishar. We will handle that first. So order of operations for next week, y'all, because we are at time, is you guys are going to head to the Elven Tomb. After the Elven Tomb, that will end the time skip. And then we can start off on the Lake Hag of Lake Denishar, dealing with Maud Chiselbone.
sounds good.
Realizing
And-
that the questions that people were kind of considering were pretty personal to them, Alicia won't kind of ask anyone to reconsider their stuff. Is going to kind of go about their thing in a different way, kind of preparing. I don't really else on for this, honestly. But we'll be casting sound effects. We'll be asking if Michonne has a little bit of money saved up for incense to kind of cast divination to see if there's anything that they can glean or travel to Grimskull.
We got all that treasure, and everyone's still broke.
Okay.
It's like
About-
it's like an armored core. It's like you just finished a big mission, then it's like, yeah, cool, and then you're like, fuck, I have to spend all my money replacing all the ammo and missiles I used.
Repair cost.
Do we have that much? I mean, I feel like a lot got used up just buying some of those potions. Potions of heroism and
Mm-hmm. Oh, it was
Gaseous
like
one.
1,000 gold worth of stuff used on those potions.
yeah.
I think Lotus has some other items, but I think that's it.
Okay. So your divination question, I am going to answer as the first thing because I wish to make a cryptic rhyme, and I don't have one right now. My
I
brain has
figured you
been
would.
broken. I want to do a cryptic rhyme.
This
I'm
would
not
be
gonna
kind
lie.
of multiple days of casting divination.
Mhm.
For like the different options, one for the whale, one for the griffins, and then one if there's some other way of getting there without those two. So it'd be 3 questions, and I'll send those to you.
Excellent. I love it. Well, everyone, I'm going to take us back to the start page. I know that we only had a small blip of crazy combat encounter that was the Plesiosaurus, and the rest of it was adventuring, telling stories, and thinking of what things to come next, which are always fun. So, next week, we will head to the Elven Tomb. Do we have any closing remarks before we end for the evening?
I will say I am genuinely shocked and pleased that the tree fitty actually worked.
It had to.
Why are you shocked?
Look, look, the Orf did this all the time in our Odyssey game too. I would just throw like a random thing at him, like, "Hey, does this work?" And it's like, okay, roll for me. And then it sure enough did.
He gave us Christmas critters. He gave us a goddamn Loch Ness monster from Mesoaperia, and you offered it Tree Fitty. Yeah, of course it was going to work.
I'm shocked. Well, not really.
I just like that Sharkalus jumped into the water and all of a sudden, no bigger fish out there.
There's always
Didn't
a bigger
realize there'd
fish.
be bigger fish.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, I thought I was going to be a big fish. Oh, no.
All right, everyone. Well, I'm going to head to bed because I'm going to be coaching CrossFit in the morning, and I'm going to kick their butts. Because today we had a 5K run, and almost no one came. So they're like, "Today's my rest day. I gotta, get geared up for Saturday."
I would love for you to get like your lessons plans mixed up and make like your elementary school kids go through like a CrossFit workout, and like your CrossFit class have to do like, all right, then we're gonna do like the parachute run or like, crap walking.
Oh my gosh. So that would be amazing because I told them it was going to be a partner workout. Little did they know the partner workout was going to be a small-sided game of sponge ball, and they're going to be like, "This was actually the best workout I've ever been to." We played a game, and we threw balls at each other. It was good. Oh man, I could actually make them play dodgeball because
School
they're adults.
recess. Bring it.
Dodgeball, the meanest game ever. We all know the sound and feel of that red ball as it hits you in the face.
But you know what we would play with? We would play with the wall balls that we used to do wall balls.
Oof.
Like you're like, I know what those are. Wall balls, everyone, are big giant medicine balls that have like weighted sand in them. So you can have from like 10 pounds all the way up to 30 pounds. So why not use those?
Yeah,
The good news, they
that would.
a lot of people can't throw them that far. So
That's why you just have that one person who's got the gigantic arm. All right, we're getting off topic. All right, everyone, have a good night. Bye bye.
all right, thanks, Caleb.
Thanks for running. And thanks everyone for tuning in. Catch you next time.